upgrading of education and training in Nigeria and so on. She has expressed the expectation even in the upcoming meeting that she expects this will improve and bring together many of the countries from across the world. And the other thing she has already mentioned is Italy is not interested in manipulating migration into low-cost labor, rather addressing the challenges from its root causes and at least bring about a solution mutually, so that both citizens or the people of Italy and Africa can benefit out of it. So this is a very shared development that they can gain from the Italy-Africa summit. And however, she even stressed that there are achievements or results that has already been achieved over the last 2 years, be it in university, advancing the technologies that is needed for infrastructure, energy, water and sanitation and so on, which exactly aligns at this very moment of the African Union Summit with its this year's theme. And she said that the results that has been achieved over the last 2 years are not the end. We have to strive and thrive much beyond that, and that needs a collaborative work between Africa and Italy. So she was happy to be able to meet many of the African heads of states and expresses again their willingness to work together and advance the Italy-Africa Summit and its aspirations be resulted and gained on the ground, I think.
Desta, well, Prime Minister Meloni started her speech with this: a new age of cooperation between Italy and Africa. And this shows that the Italian government is committed to bring new impact on the African continent, and especially in its cooperation with African countries. And what does it involve? Of course, some years back, we remember Italy was just the gateway to Europe for many African youth. Especially these youth, were affected by conflicts, political instability that was taking place, in their respective countries. And as a result, Italy, as a gateway, for Europe, was, overwhelmed, by these immigrants, young people. And the Italian government, as the Prime Minister mentioned it now, is or wants, just to give solution to this challenge by giving, solution to the root cause. In this case, why is it that, young people migrate from their respective countries to Europe? And if they have, for example, good education and training, they would stay, in their countries. If they have, job opportunities, they would stay, in their countries. They don't want to leave, their places. And their countries of origin need to be, strengthened in terms of their education endeavors, for example, training and other aspects, that offer job opportunities, for these young people. So Prime Minister Meloni stressed that she doesn't, or her government or her country does not encourage, young people to flee their country and then engage in low-cost labor in Italy or in Europe. And for this, the Italian government is working against, migration, especially, forced migration of young people from respective African countries. And for this, a new era of collaboration, has begun between Italy and Africa in general. And that's why, as you said earlier, the Italian government, invested, in billions to improve, trainings and education in Nigeria, for example. So at the same time, the Italian government is, of course, expected to improve, industries, sectors, just that provide people with, job opportunities. Desta.
Yes, you're right, Gamachis. And as you have already mentioned, Africa is facing challenges, but at the same time has immense potential in many ways. I think that aligns to the very remarks of Her Excellency Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. And Italy is not looking for anything else to exploit the minerals out of Africa or anything else, or to stop the migration of youth. This is a mutual benefit between Africa and Italy. So that addressing the root causes, not the way Italy wants it to be addressed, but mutually discussing it and shaping all the policies and strategies. And the other thing which strikes me most is she has said that this is a goal that has to be pursued both together.
Yes. Thank you, Desta. Let's take a break and we'll be back.
Welcome to the Pulse of Africa, your gateway to Africa's vibrant stories, voices and visions. Join us every Monday and Wednesday for POA in Depth, where we provide sharp analysis of pressing current affairs, keeping you informed and engaged. Tuesdays feature the Africa We Want, dedicated to the African Union's Agenda 2063, discover Africa's journey toward a prosperous and integrated future. On Thursdays, tune into El Dorado, highlighting Africa's rich natural resources and how they can drive true prosperity. Fridays bring you Roundup, where seasoned journalists discuss enduring issues shaping our continent's destiny. Saturdays showcase the editorial, offering Pulse of Africa's perspective on Africa's challenges and opportunities, and celebrate the notables, recognizing remarkable Africans making a difference. And don't forget Sundays are for Africa Melody, honoring our culture, music and entertainment. So tune into the Pulse of Africa and experience the vitality of our continent every day of the week. Subscribe now.
If you don't tell your story, it will be told by others. They'll talk of hunger, they'll talk of war, they'll talk of conflict, but they'll not say the things that are happening in Africa that are positive.
This is POA, a very new media organization in Ethiopia.
We have to be voice for ourselves. There is no one else that can tell our story better than us.
If it's defending African matters, then go for it. Go for Pulse Media.
This is the Pulse of Africa. Tune in, follow the journey, and learn about the news and what's shaping our African continent.
I am really impressed by the work that they are doing by telling the African story from Africa for Africans. I think it's definitely needed.
Please subscribe to the Pulse of Africa on all platforms.
Back to you, viewers. Well, we would like to have a recap on the previous speeches made by the two prime ministers. Prime Minister Meloni, who is, of course, the initiator of the Matter Plan and the host of the 2026 Italy-Africa Summit, His Excellency Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. And Their Excellencies, the two prime ministers, have spoken very important points. Desta, if we begin with Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, we heard her say that, of course, this is a new age of cooperation, in that this is unprecedented. We can see that Italy or any other advanced nation has hardly been, as committed to cooperate, with African countries, and we could see that, of course, the Prime Minister was genuine in showing her commitment with African countries. The heritage of best practices is, of course, beginning as of now, and she wants, her country to build relationships, with free nations, opposed to the one, just that had happened, previously during colonial era. And this time, the Italian government is showing its commitment to have, a very balanced, equal relationship with African countries, especially with the view for common benefit. And the focus, according to the Prime Minister, these days is, of course, on renewables, to transit to green energy, and support innovation, support training, support education, and in different ways, of course, to empower African youth especially, so that they would remain in their countries and they would not be at the same time, a challenge for Italy, for Europe, by overwhelming, migration from respective African countries. You may add, Desta.
Of course, as you have said, Gamachis, Italy, through Her Excellency Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, has expressed to utmost respect that Italy's interest is not in any way in manipulating Africa's youth to go and work in Italy through cheap labor, rather addressing the root causes of Africa's migration, creating a job opportunity in Africa, not in the interest of Italy, but mutually beneficial and mutually addressed, and reshaping the policies and strategies together, and even with the heads of states and leaders of Africa, having it shaped and having it executed to its final way. And at the same time, she mentioned that some of the very critical issues and areas that Italy wants to engage are renewable energies and biofuel, food security, and water and sanitation. At the same time, digital infrastructure and the industry of employment across the universities in Africa. So these are the very critical areas that Africa is seeking to advance its overall and comprehensive development. So I think the commitment of Italy shows that this is a mutual and equal partnership between Africa and Italy. And at the same time, she stressed well enough that this is not a new dependency that Italy is bringing to Africa in terms of aid or in terms of dictating Africa on what to do for its own development. Rather, sitting together and seeking the right way, the right path for the development and benefit of both countries, both Africa and Italy. So I think this shows the real commitment. And one more thing, what I really liked from Her Excellency Prime Minister Meloni's speech is that there has been achievements over the last 2 years, but this is not the end. This is just the beginning of the Italy-Africa partnership. So this can scale up beyond what is on the ground. So I think she requested and she urged the African leaders in order to be genuine in their coming to the summit. And she appreciated again the leaders coming to the summit. That shows their commitment and willingness to work together during the second Italy-Africa summit, I think.
Yes, Desta. On his part, His Excellency Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed said, of course, this moment is pivotal in Italy-Africa relations because Italy has arrived, in Africa with a new identity, with a helping, a supporting identity, rather than just the cases, in the previous eras. This time, many things have changed, and for the better in this case. And especially Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed appreciated the fact that Italy is serving as a bridge between Europe and Africa through the MATE plan. And the implementation of this MATE plan ever since 2024 has been in some kind of progress. We could see that, and this time it is likely to be strengthened further. And the Prime Minister, of course, said he appreciates the fact that Italy is supportive to the young people's education and training. And he also said the greatest asset of Africa is its young population, and it is a very good thing that the young population of Africa are part of just this MATE plan. It will improve just their livelihoods in different ways, their economic status, and their future as well. And he said that Africa is ready to invest in technology, which will bring a lot of benefit for Africans, and especially it will work in collaboration with the Italian government, and so that Ethiopia is committed to turn words into action for prosperity. This is a very important thing. We know previous agreements between advanced nations and African nations remain paper tigers, but this time the Prime Minister says, no, we are going to make history by turning our words into action, and that is going to bring about the kind of change we aspire for both the European continent and for Africa. And in order for us to see the Europe and the Africa that we aspire, then this kind of collaboration between Italy and African countries is so important. And especially these days, we can see that green technology is very important. We can see in our country changing source of energy, which was of course fuel, for example. This carbon, it contributes a lot to climate change, and the Prime Minister has been a champion in fighting climate change through this Great Legacy Initiative. And these kinds of projects, nationwide projects, have become exemplary to the rest of Africa and to the rest of the world. And I believe that this of course, is the result of this kind of cooperation between Italy and African countries. And the Prime Minister really insists that his country and the whole of Africa will work, in genuine collaboration with the Italian government to bring about the kind of change we all want to see.
And one thing I would like to start with the remarks that Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, His Excellency Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, has already said about Ethiopia, how Ethiopia is linking regions, how Ethiopia is linking markets, how Ethiopia is linking ideas. I would like to tell our viewers that this is a very good testament for Africa, that Italy-Africa is a very credible pact or partnership, which for the first time it was in Italy, Rome. Now for the second time it's in the African soil and in the African capital, the metropolitan city in Addis. Let me recall our African brothers from across the continent that a few months back, President Ramaphosa of South Africa has already given his testament what Addis is looking like, with a very quite splendid, I can say, leadership qualities that the city is turning out to be befitting its own name, a blooming flower. So this is a unique thing, one thing. So it's not only about conventions and meetings and summits, but it's about ideas. Many of the international and continental ideas are being set and deliberated here. So the ideas are found in the youth. The Prime Minister expressed that investing in the youth to unlock Africa's potential, to unlock Africa's immense power, is investing on the youth. So that's what Ethiopia is doing, and that's what Africa is seeking from the Italy-Africa Summit. And the other thing he expressed, as you are rightly said, this marks a pivotal role or time where the Italy-Africa Summit can move from dialogue into actions. So actions are needed, not only the paper tiger as it has been mentioned. And the other thing the Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has already mentioned are advancement of technology, energy, food systems are the very central issues of its comprehensive plans for development of Africa. So the Italy-Africa Summit has to bring to the table solutions or even remedies for such kind of sectors that Africa can move. And the other thing that Prime Minister Abiy has expressed along with this seeking Africa for a very comprehensive development is Africa's energetic use and population, while Europe has the experience. So combining these two can bring a benefit or a prosperity for both the African people and the people in Italy. And Prime Minister Abiy noted that where this has to be changed, or words has to turn into action, and they have to bring tangible benefits for the people of Africa and Ethiopia. And he has expressed Ethiopia's commitment and Ethiopia's unwavering, strong and firm stand in pursuing the shared commitment and responsibility of the Italy-Africa Summit so that the aspired results can be achieved on the ground.
The good thing about this summit is that, of course, the Mattis plan, for instance, is complementing, or it is complementary to Ethiopia's priorities, such as digital agriculture. These days, if you have to feed your large population, then you cannot, remain in traditional agricultural practices. You need to change that, and for this, of course, the Mate plan, allows African countries to revolutionize their agricultural practices. And Prime Minister Abiy also said that, of course, agriculture is, the backbone of our country's economy, and if Ethiopia has to feed, its people, its population sufficiently, then changes need to be made in the way, we deal with what we do in agriculture. And this is, one of the priorities of Ethiopia, which aligns with the MATE plan. That is a very good thing. Well, I also want to go back to Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni and remind you that she said, of course, we learn from our mistakes, okay? Showing, her genuine commitment, her nation's genuine commitment to establish a real connection, to Africa in general, and then, to make that beneficial for both parties. Previously, we know it has been, one-sided. The benefit has been one-sided, but now this time it needs to be, mutual. And if you have to make it, mutual, you need to be as genuine as the leaders mentioned, and you need to prove, your commitment, in action, not in words. And both leaders have expressed, just their commitment to work together, to coordinate, efforts, so that we see the Europe and the Africa we all want to see or aspire. Desta.
Yeah, I think what is needed right now is Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni and His Excellency Prime Minister Abiy has expressed their commitment and their genuine efforts, at least, to translate the aspirations of the Italy-Africa Summit on ground. What is needed here is a transformative leadership that can change words into action. Let's take, for example, His Excellency Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. He has shown us a very tangible results in transforming agriculture in a very short period of time, from receiving aid or from importing wheat into becoming a net exporter of wheat. So what is needed is just changing ideas or words into action. So this has to show us an action, as Her Excellency as Prime Minister of Italy, Giorgia Meloni, has expressed it. Changes are there, results are there, but they are not the end. They can be addressed much further. They can be stretched so that the benefit can outreach to many of the African people and in Italy. I think this is very mutual in their remarks. So I think we expect more even after the deliberations. Probably this was the 5.5 billion euro plan, the MATE plan. We have seen across the world multiple types of plans, the Marshall Plan and so on. But none of them had this kind of plan, which is very credible. It has to be sat down together from shaping the strategies and up to the end line of executing it. So I think what we need now is a very transformative leadership, like that of His Excellency Prime Minister Abiy of Ethiopia, like the President of Mahama of Ghana, that are bringing about a very tangible change to their respective citizens. So we expect much more from the second Italy-Africa Summit, I think.
Yes, Desta, one thing is, very clear here. Both sides, will benefit from this summit as far as, they will be able to turn, words into action. For instance, Italy had, concerns of migrants from Africa. And if these migrants, remain in their countries of origin, then its concern of migration, being overwhelmed by migrants, will be minimal, and that's benefit for Italy. And at the same time, if African young people remain in their respective countries and become productive by the support of the collaboration between their respective countries and Italy, then prosperity is not something you see from a distance. You will attain it. And Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni both confirmed that they will work together. The collaboration will be genuine as of now, especially more genuine than it has ever been, because in the last years, in recent years, Italy has proven to be supportive to initiatives in African countries, and Prime Minister Meloni said progress have been made, but they're not enough. More efforts will be made so that better results will be achieved, and the same thing has been echoed by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed as well.
And the genuinity of Her Excellency Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni expresses or says it all when she said that this doesn't mean that everything will be a bed of roses. But let's work together. Let's take it as a common and a shared commitment and responsibility. And when we want to take it far and we want to travel together, let's turn the stumbling stones into stepping stones of the road, constructing a road. So this is very genuine. It doesn't mean that it will not face any challenges. It will face challenges, but while facing the challenges, they will commit together and bring about a mutual solution for it. So I think this is a very good beginning, and it depicts and demonstrates the commitment of Italy even as equal partner with Africa. And I think this has to echo across the world. What others take from Africa should not be the way they want it. It should be a mutual way of eyeing Africa as equal partner. And this will tell a lot of stories, I think, for the United Nations. His chief is right here, His Excellency Antonio Guterres, so that Africa can have its rightful places across the global platforms, I think.
Well, one thing is obvious, Desta. The challenges are immense. Okay, they make piles and piles of mountains, and they cannot be solved in a single night. And this is just a very good, humble beginning for both parties, and it shows that a lot of work is awaiting us, both Italy and African countries. But the very good thing is that if they make the partnership genuine, and if they are committed towards ensuring it, then progress is inevitable. And the two leaders, Prime Minister Abiy and Prime Minister Meloni, have shown their commitment in the speeches they made, and of course in their actions as well. In 2024, this plan took place. This summit took place in Rome, and now it is taking place in Addis Ababa, in African soil, and many leaders have arrived to attend this meeting, and we can see that the value that is given to this summit is so huge, and likely the kind of outcomes we desire will be shown to us as it ends, and that will of course determine just the kind of action African countries and Italy take as of now.
I think, I don't know, I just want to give the insight of our viewers to imagine what it would mean, at least one of the sectors, agriculture alone. If Africa transforms its agriculture, like what has already happened in Ethiopia, and stopped importing foodstuffs, do you know how much money Africa can save annually? It's about not less than $50 billion annually. This could at least cover a lot of things for Africa. So at least whenever we are advancing in many of the sectors through the Italy-Africa summit and partnership, as we have already mentioned, the areas of collaboration between Italy and Africa is health, education, training, water and energy, infrastructure. So the agriculture alone, productivity and its production, if it increases to the level we want it, and we are able to at least subsidize our own needs without importing anything from abroad, that would mean a lot for Africa. So I think along this way, Italy's experience, Italy's manufacturing ability, and its products can help a lot.
Yes,
So,
yeah, Desta. By the way, Africa does not have a problem with, physical scarcity. We have water resource, we have mineral resources, we have everything, just these raw materials that we have are around us. We see them. The problem is, we haven't turned them into economic, potential. So economic scarcity is rampant in the African continent, and the collaboration, between African countries and advanced nations like Italy allows African countries, to harness these physical resources and turn them, into economic opportunities, and so this is, a very good time for Africa to utilize, the technology from advanced nations such as Italy. Italians, they're very good at manufacturing sector, utilizing, technology, and they have shown that in the past years. So this is, a very good opportunity for African countries to work in collaboration, especially to adapt and adopt, proper technology, and so that they will deal with, economic, scarcity. Water under the ground, it's plenty, it's abundant in the African continent. But at the same time, because of, lack of technology, we couldn't be able to use that water, to extract it from, beneath the ground. Now, our agriculture is, dependent on rain, and when there is no rain, then our agriculture suffers. But if you have the technology, to extract, water from underground, from beneath the surface of the earth, then imagine, how many times you can cultivate the land, just in a year, 3 times. Then you can feed, your population, and even, you can use that as a source of income by exporting it to other countries. And this particularly, I would say, is this summit, the Italy-Africa summit, is important for both parties, but at the same time, I feel, it's more important for African countries, as it allows them access to finance, access to proper technology, to be able to utilize, their natural resources, their yet untapped, natural resources, which they observe, which they see, but which they cannot utilize yet. So this is very important, and the 2 prime ministers, have elegantly expressed, just their wish in this summit, their desires, their aspirations, and the action that follows, this summit.
Yeah, all the leaders are there. The African Union Commission Chairperson, His Excellency Ali Mohamed Yusuf, and the UN Chief, and the African Development Bank President, and heads of states of the African countries. So what we are looking here out of this summit is very actionable deliberations and the review of key achievements and the challenges in order to mitigate them in the years to come. So I think, as you have already mentioned, it is mutual benefit between both Africa and Italy, but it weighs much, the benefit weighs much for Africans, because we have all the challenges and the potential, but we need partnerships to address them. And when we are looking for partnerships, we don't want anyone to dictate us. Africa doesn't want any dictation from anyone or any donation, for that matter. Rather, it is an equal opportunity of partnership where both parties can benefit out of the same ties, I think.
Yes, Desta, when we conclude our discussion, well, I would say the 2026 Italy-Africa Summit is expected to be, a landmark, and it is going to involve landmark events, and it consolidates, expanding, partnerships into tangible, measurable outcomes. And technology will be a big topic, sustainable development, economic cooperation. These will be entertained by the leaders. And this time, we can see that they are committed to show, these outcomes, to reality, to turn them into reality, to show us that really they will work genuinely towards having, measurable outcomes in the future. And for years to come, I believe this summit will shape how we deal with development, how we deal with partnership amongst African countries and Italy. Yeah?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I think we wrap our discussion right here. Thank you, Desta.
Thank you very much.
Viewers, thank you very much. We hope that you have got insightful reflections from our discussion. And of course, this Italy-Africa Summit will take place today and in the coming days as well. Next time also we'll come up with similar analysis and especially tomorrow, the 14th of February, we'll have the 39th AU Summit, which we also will bring to you as the events take place at the African headquarters, at the African Union headquarters. We'll be right here at our studio and we'll bring these events to you. Stay tuned. Thank you very much and goodbye.
Welcome to the Pulse of Africa, your gateway to Africa's vibrant stories, voices and visions. Join us every Monday and Wednesday for POA in Depth, where we provide sharp analysis of pressing current affairs, keeping you informed and engaged. Tuesdays feature the Africa We Want, dedicated to the African Union's Agenda 2063, discover Africa's journey toward a prosperous and integrated future. On Thursdays, tune into El Dorado, highlighting Africa's rich natural resources and how they can drive true prosperity. Fridays bring you Roundup, where seasoned journalists discuss enduring issues shaping our continent's destiny. Saturdays showcase the editorial, offering Pulse of Africa's perspective on Africa's challenges and opportunities, and celebrate the notables, recognizing remarkable Africans making a difference. And don't forget, Sundays are for Africa Melody, honoring our culture, music and entertainment. So tune into the Pulse of Africa and experience the vitality of our continent every day of the week. Subscribe now.
You don't tell your story, it will be told by others. They'll talk of hunger, they'll talk of war, they'll talk of conflict, but they'll not say the things that are happening in Africa that are positive.
This is POA, a very new media organization in Ethiopia.
We have to be voice for ourselves. There is no one else that can tell our story better than us.
If it's defending African matters, then go for it. Go for Pulse Media.
This is the Pulse of Africa. Tune in, follow the journey, and learn about the news and what's shaping our African continent.
I am really impressed by the work that they are doing by telling the African story from Africa for Africans. I think it's definitely needed.
Please subscribe to the Pulse of Africa on all platforms.
This is Africa, the cradle of humanity, the frontier of the future, a land of visionaries, creators and pioneers, a continent of unstoppable energy where innovation meets tradition, where voices rise, loud and fearless.
I am an African.
This is the heartbeat of a billion people, diverse, bold, united by a single purpose to tell our own stories in our own way. No borders, no barriers, no filters. A new era of African storytelling is here. From every corner of the continent, from the bustling cities to the quiet village, we tell Africa's story by Africans for the world. This is the land of a rising Africa, where Africa speaks and the world listens. This is why today we bring you POA, Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa.